it's Amanda and Baron, and we are back again with Kickin'Cancer Cares. And our sponsor for this second half is Marianne McNally. She is a residential real estate specialist with Next Home Realty Connection. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or you're just really not sure where to start, which I know a lot of people are, especially in the market and everything that's going on today. So it's like, where do you begin? Where do you end? So just reach out to Marianne. She's phenomenal. No question is stupid or silly. So her phone number is 503-409-4389.
Yep, and Marianne's in her own fight, so...
Yeah, so please keep her in your prayers as well. She could use all the prayers.
Well, if you weren't listening in the first half, we have now converted this room into the cancer-fighting kitchen. I know, and we're so excited that Casey did a great job of kind of laying down the science behind what we're going to talk about. There's probably way more that we didn't have time to talk about.
Always.
But there's a really good phrase that you ladies have used that we're going to use in the second half. Juicing is medicine, and smoothies are food.
Yeah.
So let's get into the juicing. Let's start with juicing, Casey. The benefits of juicing as far as medicine is concerned. What are some of those benefits?
So I think for me, juicing is like concentrated nutrients really quickly. And so I think that's the biggest draw, that with juicing you get a lot more bang for your buck really quickly. And for people that are going through treatment or even just having problems with digestion, I think that's a little bit easier on the digestive system too. And I feel like myself going through cancer, it was really difficult to eat at times. There were certain foods that I just was like, my potatoes and red pepper or whatever was my staple. But, you need to get that nutrition too. So it's really nice concentrated nutrition. The only problem that I see really with juicing is that really just watching what you're juicing, because there's no fiber to slow down the release of that juice. And we talked about the blood sugar control is one of the things that spikes and can feed cancer. So really making sure that you're, looking at balancing that out. A lot of times I'll use cucumber and zucchini, things like that, to really, celery, to really kind of give it a little bit less of that sweetness to it.
Right.
But the one juice that I chose for you guys today is from a documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Sick, and Nearly Dead.
I'm just kidding.
Well, and because I think I wrote this down. This is called the Mean Green Juice.
Mean green juice.
The Mean Green Juice. I love the name.
And so, like, if anything, Melissa and I want to empower you guys to just make things for your own taste. If it doesn't taste good, if it tastes like poo, then you're not going to eat it.
Can we tell them about our recipe?
Yeah. So we had a smoothie experience last night where we put in lots of this really nice dark kale. We couldn't find the spinach for the mitochondria smoothie, and we put in that, and it was just so green. We tried to put in.
We brought it up to our nose, and it's like, oh, holy kale.
Yeah.
Holy kale.
It was pretty powerful.
So yeah. There's a whole new phrase. Yes. Oh, holy kale.
So but before we go into smoothies, let's go back to the Mean Green Juice. So this, like I said, is from Joe Cross. He had autoimmune disease and traveled across the United States, came over from Australia, and just went around and introduced people to juice. So the Mean Green Juice is cucumber, celery, green apples, kale, and lemon, and a piece of ginger. So we're going to start you off with that. If Melissa,
what? We get to taste it.
You get to taste it.
Holy kale! Holy kale!
Ashlie. So you may want to shake it up a little bit because they do separate a little bit, the citrus and everything.
Okay.
But this is
one more time. What's in here?
This is kale, celery, ginger, green apple, lemon, and cucumber. Did I say ginger?
Yeah, and so everything is green with a couple of things to give it a little bit sweeter taste.
The celery, it gives it a little salty.
A little bit salty, and then
the
green apple really gives it a nice little sweetness to it, and the lemon kind of makes it kind of lemonade-y.
Yeah, and for those that can't smell it, it smells pretty good too.
There you go, smells good. Doesn't smell like our smoothie last night. So don't be afraid to abort mission either if it comes out really
don't abort it. It's really good.
This one's good. We wouldn't abort this one.
Don't abort this one.
You can smell all the ingredients. That's what I love about it. They're just genuine,
I didn't use as much ginger.
This is really good.
And you could, just make it for your own taste buds. And like we said before, it's just like if it doesn't taste good, we're not going to eat it. We're not going to drink it. So make sure that you make it to your taste buds. And if in the beginning you need a little bit more of the apple or whatever to make it palpable with the green, go for it. And then just, set a goal to add in a little bit less.
Well, and I can taste the ginger. I can taste the lemon, which gives it a little... Because I can see where the kale and the cucumber would give it a harsher taste, but that gives it a better taste.
You know what I did with this one is I put in an extra cucumber, but they were kind of small, and then I did a little bit more celery, because I usually like to water it down just a little bit. So that's my preference.
There's a drink similar to this at Trader Joe's, and it's a green drink.
Yeah.
And it's very similar ingredients. And I gave an example some shows back. When I was training for one of my Spartan races, I just was like, why, muscles should hurt, but my joints were hurting. And I went to see my chiropractor, and his first question was, how many green vegetables are you eating? Because he could tell that there was some inflammation. And so he says, here's my prescription. Because, he says, go have a salad. So I just had a
I like that
I had a
from a
spinach,
doctor.
Yeah.
And I had a spinach salad. I chopped up some strawberries on it, and then within a day, the inflammation had gone down. But this is a really easy way to drink all of your green vegetables.
Yeah. And we use the Breville over here. It's a pretty medium-priced juicer. I like it. It's easy to clean. Has a nice big chute, so you don't have to chop up everything. It's tiny.
So what do you hold?
So I am holding wheatgrass. And wheatgrass is very, very easy to grow. You can take like a 12 by 12 little 2-inch flat, and you can just have some soil and then just pour this on top, and then you just spray it. And so this is wheatgrass. We spared Amanda from having to make this, but usually there's a little bit different process with this. And I wanted to share this because I have to say I did double shots of this all the way through cancer and beyond until I was in you are free of cancer forever.
You might have spared Amanda, but that is gone. She drank
she
all
liked
of
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
So I just want to touch on it. Wheatgrass, antioxidants, chlorophyll, fiber, minerals, vitamins. It's good for your hair health, makes your hair nice and glossy if you have some.
The glossy is actually the glow off my head. That's not the hair.
There you go.
Just for the record.
And then the last part of it is just saying that it really helps with chemotherapy side effects. So as nausea and your blood counts.
Okay.
So this really helped me fly through. I was always amazed how good I looked going through cancer for how sick I was.
No, you were really
and because I had not been that much into, super intense nutrition.
Yeah.
So,
Casey, question for people with gluten sensitivities. If you're just doing the top,
it's not the same. I have gluten sensitivities, and it's just not the same. It's just different. So I don't worry about that. But again, try it if it is something that you react to. It's definitely one that you want to have a little shot of and a chaser to it. It's pretty potent. Some people put a little bit of ginger in here, but it's something that you just shoot. And it's for me, I haven't made it for a bit, and my whole body goes when I smell the lawn being cut, because I just did it for so long.
It brings back memories, doesn't
it does.
Yeah.
And so I'll do it occasionally, and I would like to actually start adding it into my diet, just being a little bit more conscious.
Interesting story that you just said that. My sister and I co-founded this when she was going through her battle, kind of inspired Kickin'Cancer, but she needed all of those phytonutrients. And she would make a green drink, and I'm sure that right now there's a picture of Brenda right about here with her green drink. But initially, it was just so strong of a smell, that she would literally hold her breath, and she'd go, cancer hates it, so I love it. And she would just down it as medicine. Well, she told me after some time, her body actually began to crave it, and the smell didn't bother her. But initially, because of what was inside of it, she'd go, and then drink it up. But her message to herself was, cancer hates it, so I love it.
I hear people putting this in smoothies and stuff, and this doesn't sound good. So it's like one and done, you're done. It's like a shot of tequila.
would you chase it with orange juice? Is that typically what?
No, I would chase
are
it.
you not listening? She said you chase it with a shot of tequila. I just heard her say that. I just heard her say that.
Or orange juice?
I wouldn't even do orange juice. I would just do water.
Okay.
And,
Really?
Not tequila?
Yeah. I don't think you need the sugar. Again, orange juice
Kill
is pretty
parasites.
high in sugars.
Oh,
Orange juice is just
silently
gonna
shush.
is pretty high. There's no fiber,
Yeah.
unless you have a real pulpy one. But I think we're ready to move on to.
Smoothies.
We're trying to
Yes.
compare it off from the shot of tequila. Is what we're trying to do.
You
Keep bringing it up.
We got cancer fighting kitchen stuff to do here.
I am
Ew.
this is now the shushing
We're
show.
moving along.
Moving on. Thank you. So now we're
The
talking about the
mighty-
benefits of smoothies,
Yeah.
and to our
Yeah.
first comment, the juiciness concentrated medicine, but the smoothies are food.
It's food.
And now we're going to shift to Melissa.
Yeah. So I would say it still is medicine, but we're calling it food because you get to have the fiber, which one of the benefits of sugars is it metabolizes slowly. So you're not going to get the sugar spike that you
Okay.
would or that you could with the juices if it was high in sugar. So, and the fiber is great too, just for I'm using that word again. We can brush the colon, get stuff moving along,
Yeah.
and which is important.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I forget.
Well,
Move on.
and I hope I'm not jumping ahead, but I also love the name of what you're going to make. So the one that you made was the mean green juice. This
Well,
one,
Melissa mentioned that you had been talking about mitochondria with the
With the
hyperbaric. So I said,
Yeah.
let's do it.
so we're making, it's called a mighty mitochondrial smoothie.
Okay.
That's a
What
hard
a
one.
fun!
Mighty
I have
mitochondria.
to read it slowly. The
And then
mighty mitochondrial smoothie.
Yes.
What the heck is that?
Yes. Well, first, just remembering that the mitochondria is so important with kicking cancer. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. You want to feed it. You want it to function well. So this recipe has spinach and water and blueberries. We put collagen protein in there. This was the recipe that we swapped out kale for spinach because we didn't have spinach.
We would use it less. We would use less.
Yeah, we
next
did.
time.
We did like a half cup of it, and it was terrible. So it was kind of a flusher.
Okay.
And that happens sometimes. We did try to add like lime or
I think
extra.
we had some frozen figs, and then they were kind of too big, and they didn't really chop up. So it was like a big giant fig ice cube, and still
Well,
the green.
Yeah.
And many people do not realize that blueberries are one of your highest antioxidant
Antioxidants.
fighters.
Yeah.
So putting the
Yes.
blueberries is huge for the antioxidants.
Yeah, and they're low in sugar, which is great. So I would say with the greens, just start small, so you don't waste a lot of ingredients. So start small, smoothie it up, blend it up, and see how it tastes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some other good things that we had in there, we added cocoa powder, which I liked. You could use cocoa nib.
This
Yeah.
time we did.
Didn't
we
we?
I actually we didn't have the cocoa nibs last night. Couldn't find
Okay.
them. They were in the other refrigerator. But so we used the cocoa powder, and it still was a really bad smoothie. But in this one we put in. While she continues talking about that, I think I'll pass it out. But we put in the cocoa nib powder, just a couple teaspoons of that.
So I'll trade you here.
All right.
So while she's passing that out, I will say another benefit of the smoothies is keep in mind it feeds the probiotics in your stomach, different types of fiber, and this is going to give you lots of different types of fiber.
Okay.
You need to hear this if you're a smoothie lover, or even if you're not yet. Smoothies are like liquid gold for your body. Packed with vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, and healthy fats, these delicious drinks are a nutritional powerhouse. Need more fiber? Smoothies have got you covered. They help improve digestion and can lower your risk of chronic illnesses. Plus, they can help you lose weight without skipping meals. The enzymes in fruits work wonders to dissolve body fat. And let's not forget about fruits and veggies. Smoothies are an easy, tasty way to up your intake, reducing inflammation and lowering your risk of chronic conditions. Looking for a meal replacement? A well-prepared smoothie can provide all the essential nutrients you need. Add some yogurt or nut butter to make it more like a meal. Want glowing skin? Smoothies with vitamin C and carotenoids can boost your complexion. And your gut will thank you too. The plant foods in smoothies increase healthy bacteria, reducing abdominal pain, gas, and bloating. So, why not blend your way to better health? Grab your favorite fruits and veggies and start sipping your way to a healthier you. Cheers to smoothies.
Color
So-
scares me a little.
I know. Think of it more as purple
No
or
crybabies.
plum.
No crying.
Right.
Shush me.
I'm excited to see how it tastes because it's got to be better than
It smells
yesterday.
good.
Yeah.
It's only the color. The taste is good. And,
And
the blueberries.
Oh, it's really good.
You painted on yourself.
My nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of.
I think we all will.
Now that we have YouTube, thank you for not letting us sit there the whole time. Blueberries.
That's okay.
Ashley, can you edit out the blueberries?
So much better.
It's so much better. Oh my
Please
god,
edit
yeah.
them even in more.
Yeah.
Or one or the other.
So
I create a
one of
mustache here.
the things that we put in there, or we put in two. One thing that wasn't in the recipe. This is a sunflower lecithin,
That's not an easy
and
word to
it
say.
decreases cholesterol. It increases your digestive health. Helps like with your gut lining.
Okay.
It helps with brain function and produces choline. And then the other thing I added was something that I read about in my school, stuff. It was citrus pectin, modified citrus pectin. And what the research on that is that it just helps with any kind of metastasis, just wham it, just slam it. So these are just like little packets. Nope, that's the soy. That's the lecithin. These ones are just like little packets, and they have a little bit of sweetness to them.
Yeah.
But I would just be using these as a preventative. Why not? If you have any little tumor starting, get some modified citrus pectin.
And I'm glad you mentioned the preventative, because the message that we've been trying to push out with Kicking Cancer is we're an organization that is proactive to prevent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So anything that can be a preventative,
Yeah.
I mean, heaven forbid you have to go down the path that Casey did go down. So then you can deal with it a little bit better. But heavens, don't go down that path in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Avoid that path altogether.
We've
Yes.
kind of put out here some things that you could just add to smoothies. Oh, one of the things I added to the smoothie, because it still had this collagen-y kind of taste to it, so I put in some coconut water, added coconut water to
I
that to
can
get a
taste the
little
coconut,
bit
yeah.
sweeter. And then I put in 8 ounces of, I made this, it was a chamomile honey Tulsi tea. So I made the Tulsi tea, and then I just poured that in as extra liquid, and it was just like, oh, that was the magic ticket. So play around with your food.
Yeah.
I advocate.
I love
Play
that.
with your food.
Because people often think of water if they're just trying to stick without
Yeah.
a dairy
But you
or
can-
even dairy free. But yeah, so teas, different types of teas that
It
you
had
like.
chamomile in it too, so we're getting if you start waiting out over there, you know that you're relaxing.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that this doesn't have to be necessarily to take down a tumor but just being healthy with your body all the way around.
Exactly.
It's truly just a self-care. You're feeding your body the right things so that you
Yeah.
feel better, you
Yes.
look better, you act better,
Yep.
all of the above.
And you're instantly rewarded, because when you have something like this where you're not getting an inflammatory response or spiking your blood sugars, you do get that energy an hour or so after. And it's surprising. But a few tips to remember. One, the biggest, just have fun with it, because if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to drink it.
Right.
But if you make it in the morning, it's good to do 1 or 2 quarts, so that way you can have your morning drink and keep it in the fridge, because if you're going through the work of doing that, why do it twice a day?
Can I mention something with that?
Yeah.
It's just filling it up to the top in mason jars so that it doesn't oxidate. So you have no
Good idea.
oxygen in there, and
Yeah, and they even have
They
some
last
cool
long.
mason jar tops that take even more of the air out. So another thing with the greens, it's important to rotate your greens. You don't want to do weeks on end of doing just spinach, because there's something called alkaloids in greens, just minute.
I was just gonna say, and goiter
traces.
regions too, like spinach and kale are raw in their raw form, are very hard on the thyroid. So just limiting those, maybe doing red chard or different kinds of greens.
Yeah, and you don't have to switch every day. Use your batch, but we're just not weeks on end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And any of these things, I just wanted to mention, like any of the high, like superfoods, I would just check with your primary oncologist to just ask, is this going to interfere with my treatment at all? And I don't want to do anything, if there's superfoods that you're putting in there, like acai berry or things like that. You just want to, err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
And if you want to get the most out of your smoothie or your juice, just have it on its own. Like, don't mix it together with a meal. Even though that seems fine to do if you're wanting to get the most nutrition, because when you put a liquid into your body and then you add any kind of carb or meat or anything, all of that just stays in your stomach and it doesn't get to move throughout. So it could cause gas and different things.
Yeah,
So if you want to get the most out of nutrition absorption, drink it by
I was gonna
itself.
say, or just when you're drinking really cold drinks, are gonna ice up your digestion and slow it down. So just be aware of that.
Nice.
That's why you always have warm smoothies.
Is that it? She's like, no. So we're moving on. So we're going to parties. We're going to parties, and it's Christmas time. And for me, I have a lot of food sensitivity, so there's a lot of things that I can't participate in, and I have always equated it to being like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and not being able to play in any of the reindeer games, and it sucks. It just sucks. There's something very special about breaking bread with people.
Yeah. Was that the case prior to your cancer, Casey, or is that after, since the cancer?
I think I probably had them prior. I just was not aware of anything.
But now
I grew up on fast foods, processed food, so
you're a lot more aware of it now.
I was puffy. I've showed you that picture. I think it was in the time when we did it last, where I was just puffy. I wasn't necessarily really fat. I was puffy. I was inflamed. I was on SSRIs. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was everything, and those didn't even touch it,
Well, I do know that as we're prepping for this show, you ladies were informing me that we get this wonderful snack, and rumor has it that these coca nib balls.
Wait. Can we go do the kale chips first and get to the dessert last?
Sure, the chips on the bottom. We can do the top.
We can go any direction you want. I'll flow with.
You do what she wants to do.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna hand out just the kale chips.
Hey, shush again, Ashley. I got shush again.
This is fun.
So. Yeah,
you guys are having
we are all going out afterwards. The girls are. We'll bring you, Baron.
So kale chips. The key with kale chips is you want to massage it.
And we have a picture.
It breaks up.
Maybe Ashlie has.
Yeah, it breaks up some of the fibers. Massage it. We used cashews with some pepper, some red and.
So I'm going to go on record as saying
pepper.
I have never, ever been a fan of kale until right now.
Isn't it good? And we put a little bit of brewer's yeast and salt.
I've never liked kale until right now.
Awesome.
So
hold on.
Brewer's
What is
nutritional yeast?
Nutritional yeast. Sorry.
Put in there a little pinch of salt. Melissa likes more salt.
See, I'd want a little more salt still.
More salt. But, we're cooking for everybody, so I like to err on the side of caution with salt, too.
Mm-hmm. You can never have too much seasoning.
But I love these.
I could sit and watch Super Bowl eating this stuff. This is good.
I love kale chips. I've never added cashews.
Yeah.
So cashews and red pepper.
One thing that you ladies should know, we've been doing this show together for 2.5 years, and I have heard through Amanda the number of changes in her house, specifically her husband Bowen changes, and I'm pretty sure this might be the treat you guys are having at your house come Super Bowl time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing. She takes information home to her family, and then Bo's like, well, we're done doing Mountain Dew now.
What's the next thing we're giving up?
The next thing you do is, Bo, you're going to eat this green stuff that's the Super Bowl.
So my son loves kale.
The next one is a mocktail, a blackberry mocktail. And it basically is just, so I started off with a muddler, and you could also use the back of your spoon if you don't have a muddler.
And I just want to warn you, we have 3 minutes left in the show.
Okay, so I put it in the food processor because it was too hard to do. So I'm going to pour that, and we're going to give you the cocoa nib balls at the same time. So if you can pour this,
and you get cocoa
and I'll
nibs.
get the cocoa nibs. Should I go that
I have
direction
to say, these cocoa nibs are so good. I eat them for snacks, and they're supposed to be for our clients after their sessions.
No, I'm just telling them.
Casey's like, Melissa?
Because I made like a ton of them, and I found out that she wasn't giving them to the clients.
I know that while we were prepping for the show.
It was a 3-to-1 ratio, though.
I was informed while we were prepping for the show that that usually there are 12, and there's only 4. Where'd the others go? And then Casey informed me that Melissa eats them all.
And once again, you eat them, you feel full, and you don't have a sugar spike. There's no crash.
And this isn't the soda that I would usually use, because I forgot it at home, so I had to go over to the liquor store, and they had one product that had sparkling in it. So it's just a way for you to participate in the reindeer games. You could, if you feel like you want a little alcohol in there, you could put a little alcohol in there. But it has basil and blackberry, and I put a little bit of honey. You could put in like monk fruit, which is a dry powder, very low glycemic, and you mentioned another kind of sugar.
Oh, allulose. Allulose is good for the GI tract. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and it'd be like a stevia, but
So what
So
I'm
this
going
tastes
to
better if you mix it, and we're not able to really mix it.
and what I'm going to recommend
really
the
good.
radio show folks is please go Monday to YouTube because we are limited on time, but YouTube has more time, and I'm sure there's going to be some added content on YouTube come Monday morning.
Yeah.
But this is just such fun,
But-
amazing stuff that you put together.
We got to say the coconut balls though. So coconut balls are basically in the food processor. We did almonds. You could use whatever kind of nut you want, and we did the cocoa nibs. So we did. In the recipe it calls for equal parts. I do a little less of the cocoa nibs, and then I put in. You get that
They're
going
the
first.
best
You
show
put
ever.
in some coconut and some cardamom and cinnamon. You could add whatever spices you want. You could add pumpkin spice if you're that kind of person. I'm not. But these are really good because they just, they're so nice and sweet and they're so filling. So they just let you feel like you're participating in some of the fun and being healthy at the same time. So
And if it's not sweet enough,
You did. Well, I'm gonna really quick. This won't take much time, but we've been doing a timeline item, and I almost hate to bring this up because it's been such a fun show. But in our timeline, it was March the 13th of 2022, and our one of our go teams, his name was Jeff Morrison. You and I talked about Jeff. At 57, Jeff was having some really bad stomach pains. He thought hernia, wasn't sure what it was. He goes in and he had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. We got involved in an organization, did some things to help the family out. But on the 13th of March, 2022, he's at Salem Hospital. Only a few people were allowed to come in and see him, his direct family, and me.
Aw.
And I was very honored to be
Yeah.
one of the few people come in. And if you've ever been near someone who's right towards the end, there's a very different look.
Yeah.
And it was really hard because the skin changes color, the voice begins to get the death rattle, and the next day he passed away.
yeah.
But I was pretty honored that I was one of the few people that got to go in and see before he passed away. So I almost hate to dampen the mood of this, but I really appreciate everything you guys have brought. I have a whole new appreciation for kale. And anyone who is listening, seriously, you have got to go to YouTube. Just to see me be shushed as many times. Just go to YouTube.
Hey, are you still looking for sponsors?
I'm eating my kale right now.
Oh my gosh, the kale's
I got
so good.
shushed. I got shushed.
Well,
Give me
see,
the name of this.
yeah, this episode's called Shushing Burn.
All right, so shush. Marianne McNally is our sponsor for the second half, so huge shout out to her. If you guys are looking to buy a home, sell a home, or just not sure where to start, give her a call. Her number is 503-409-4389, and we'll be back next week as the movement continues.
Whoop, whoop.